teaching fraternity, and meeting you virtually gives me immense pleasure. And today's topic is, I could say, need of the hour because due to COVID situation, most of us had shifted from chalk and talk to smart classes, that to e-classes, to platforms. I think that you can chat in the chat box for my questions. And first of all, I would like to ask you a question that which platform do you rely on for your online classes? Is my first question to start with, and you can give answers in the chat box. I'm watching the chat box for your answers. So Teams is one answer from Pragasam sir. Then any other platforms? Google Meet, fine. Okay. I'm Jesus Convent, okay. Teams, Zoala, Google Meet, MS Teams, and Zoom, fine. Microsoft, fine. Zoom, Google Meet, Zoom, okay. I could see most of the platforms which are collaborative, synchronous platforms. I think that you know the difference between synchronous and asynchronous platforms. Synchronous is at a time where we have one-to-one classes like this. Like we are connected here through Cisco WebEx events. And do you use any asynchronous platforms for communicating with your children or for teaching or for sharing resources with them? If so, kindly share the platform name. So I could get, yes, WhatsApp is one popular social media which is popular nowadays. And again, Google WebEx is the answer which we get. Zoom and WhatsApp. Okay, fine. Okay, Facebook. Okay, I wanted to know how do you use FB? Priyanka Singh. Okay, we'll discuss it later. Google Classroom for records keeping. Fine. WhatsApp and Teams. Okay, with this note, let's enter into quickly our today's topic without wasting much time. Let me share my PowerPoint presentation. Content or open source content. We misunderstand open content to open source content, and there are different types of contents which are available online. Screen is visible. Thank you. I got your response. I hope my voice is audible for all of you. Today's topic is validity check prior to embarking upon open source content. I have introduced myself, and once again I was introduced by ma'am. Once again I wish to introduce myself as S. Dilip, English graduate teacher in government higher secondary school in a rural village called Satyamangalam from Senji Taluk, Viluppuram district of Tamil Nadu state. And to start with, I have already asked you which platforms do you use, and here I have given icons of some file types which you download or get from internet for making use of preparation of key contents or evaluations which you are sharing for your children. I have given some of the file types here. If you use apart from this any other file types, please type in to your text box. What are the file types which you rely on or depend on while you're sharing or creating resources? I'm waiting for your response. Yes, PDF is given here, I guess. If not, yes, I have given. But PPT, yes, PPT, I haven't given. Fine. JPG, PPT, yes, Rahman sir. Dahlia David, PPT, Zodo, PDF. I hear this as a new word, Zodo. What file type is that? I wanted to check from you. Fine, let me check and let me learn from you today. Text file is okay. TXT, Rita ma'am, fine. YouTube is video file. I might have given that. Yes. Videos, text, content. Yes. PPT, Word, Excel, PDF. Yes. Okay. With this note, let us jump into our resource hub. Where do we get all these resources? Probably I'll be sharing some of the sources where we get in. Top file is good. I got so many responses. Thank you so much for that. And before entering into that, we should learn about one term, that is FAS, which means free and open source software. FAS means that this has two divisions. One is free, another is open source. You should be able to know that some of them give free sources and some other give you open source along with the free source. Okay, so we must be careful while choosing the product. Either it could be a software or a file or something. And if you want to get more resources on that, you can verify the website which I'm sharing here, freeopensourcesoftware.org, where you will get all the details about the software as well as the resources. And when you think of text, immediately my mind goes to a website called Wikipedia. Do you also refer Wikipedia most of the times? And if not Wikipedia, what other sources gives you information? I could ask you like, which is information hub? Where do you get the information from? Yes, Wikipedia. Yes, Quora is a online learning book type of thing. Is I think that YouTube. Okay, YouTube is for videos. I'm asking about text. We are now dealing about text. National Geography is for geography teacher. Fine. Yes, YouTube. PDF online. Yes. Fine. Google search is the secret of all the sources. Yes, YouTube. Britannica is the encyclopedia which we can refer. Quora again. Fine, thank you. Okay, my next question comes that whatever written in Wikipedia is right or not? Say yes or no. I say that all the information available in Wikipedia are authentic. If you say yes, that is you accept. Yes, most of you have given not always. Yes, some of you give. Okay, I have got it's not always, mostly, not always. Yes, you're right. It is not authentic all the times. Why? Because you can write an article and I am allowed to edit the article at any time. Okay, so I can change the data, and if 10 of them wish to change the data which is given by you, as if they feel that your data is wrong, they can edit it at any time. So I could say that you should recheck and verify from other authentic sources before you provide it to your students, is my first lesson for authentic information, that is textual information. Next, you haven't given this answer. The second source where we get text is, good evening everyone, Rajastri ma'am, good evening, very good evening to you. And I could say that my second source is scholar.google.com. Being a teacher or a researcher, this website helps us a lot in getting information across the globe. So, Narinder, good evening sir. Okay, Diksha ma'am. Diksha spelling is wrong. Diksha is another source. I'm right. DIKSHA. Diksha gives us information that through textbooks and videos. This is central government initiative. Very good. Well said. And next one I would like to share is articlesfactory.com, where you will find lots of articles. So I have given 3 sources for you, and you have given me more than 50 sources. So you can make use of that for text and information gathering. So my next question is this: are these articles authentic? You have answered like not always. So whenever we get information from online, it is not authentic. That we should keep in mind. NCERT materials, very good. We have it in NRY, SWAYAM and other lots of websites are there for getting information. Good. So articles we have seen, information we have seen, and now I'm jumping into next type of sources which we search. What is the next type which we go and jump into is images. First we go and search for text most of the times, and then we jump into text. From that images, can you able see my chat box? Yes, I can do. Namaskar to all from Alpana Kohila. Yes. Okay, image search. So we mostly depend on Google for image search. How many types of search are available in Google? Immediately answer me. I give 3 options. 1, 2, 3. Number 1 is textual search. Number 2 is video search or audio search. Number 3 is image search. 5 types I have got. Okay. I think that most probably we rely on 3 searches, 5 to 6 type. I'm not sure what are those 5 to 6. I can show you 3 icons here. See, one is textual typing, and the next one is camera icon, which is for image search, and third one is for audio search. I can also give you a demo when we go for demo type. So 3 types of searches are available there, and images can be searched through this. And I'll also tell you how to filter the Creative Commons images from this. So next I'm going to introduce you another website where you can search any type of files, that is creativecommons.org. We'll also deal in detail what are these Creative Commons and what types of images can be searched and what type of licenses are there for CC. Okay, and I also give you another website where you can download images is freepik.com. Here you can see there 9 crore and 3,52,000 high quality images which can be used for your projects. Okay. Next, I am giving you another beautiful website, that is tenor.com. Here you can find GIF images. I mostly prefer GIF images to use in my PPTs because they are more lively and it creates interest, that too among primary and middle school students. This GIF images creates an impact. Tenor.com is that. And I think most of you would be using this website, Pinterest.com, where lots of charts are available, lots of mind maps are available, images are available. All of these are authentic and very good resources which are created and shared by teachers like us across the globe. And we have mostly consumed the resources which are available in Pinterest. How many of you have contributed to Pinterest? If yes, say yes in the chat box. I have contributed more than 10 resources. Yes, very good. Yes, Suganya ma'am. Yes, 4 years. I am using from 4 years. Good. You're using it. I'm asking, have you created an account and provided your works into that? That's what we do a mistake. That is like we consume a lot which is online, but we forget to contribute to it. So start contributing from today by creating an account online in Pinterest. Okay, it can be a very simple resource which you have created for your classroom. Share it globally, let others also get the benefit. Very good quality materials. Good. Next type of search, as you were telling, it is of video searching. I'm going to give you a beautiful site where you can get mapped contents, that is tick links. How many of you have already used this website? Here a volunteer is giving this as free service. where he hasn't done a great impact, like he had not created much of videos, but he is doing this. Yes, not used. Okay, fine. Poonam Singh had not used. He's doing one good thing, that is he is mapping the YouTube videos to the prescribed syllabus of CBSE and NCERT, so that when you share this website, there will not be any deviation to the students from, like when you give a YouTube link, there will be some pop-ups and other deviated contents, but this website will not give you such nuisance. So you can, I'll also show you a quick demo if possible. And the next one is LearnZillion. This is a US based, one is national level, this is international online platform, where this is created for US teachers, but even then our Indian teachers can make use of the resources here, and all are not free. Up to a limit you can make use of this, and you can come to know about these like educated lesson plans and other things. You can get it from there. The website is learnzillion.com. So up to this we have seen what type of resources we are using. Like I have shared about text, image and video. These are the three major areas we depend on. So when we are using internet, there are certain risks which happens. Let us know what are those. The first risk which happens is cyberbullying. You know that the cyberbullying happens these days, or it has become most common, and it can happen in either internet or social media websites, or the statistics says that in 2015 the National Center for Education Statistics began collecting data on this electronic bullying separately from in-school bullying. Cyberbullying was defined as when willful and repeated harm is happening, inflicted through the use of computers or cell phones or any other electronic devices. This is termed as cyberbullying. So we are affected by this. And next, we should learn about cyber crimes, and we also should give awareness to our students about this. For this cyber crimes, most probably they use computer as a target, using a computer to attack other computers. It could be through hacking. They'll send virus or worm attacks, or even DOS can also get an attack. We can use the same computer as a weapon to protect ourselves by using antivirus, and we can use firewalls, and hacking also happens, rightly said by Govind sir. They use computer to commit real world crimes also. They do cyber terrorism, IPO violations, credit card frauds had become most common nowadays. So I wanted to say, you don't give any details over a phone, or yes, ransomware is also there. EFT frauds and pornography is also there. So we should learn certain sections which are most common for this cyber. Section 66 is using password of another person. This is common most of the times, but it is also not permissible. Even you should not give your password to any of them. Password means it is a password for your personal use. And section 66E says cheating using computer resource. And 66E says publishing private images of others. So we don't have permission to use others' photo without their permission. 66F says act of cyber terrorism. 67 says publishing child porn or predating children online. And 69 says government's power to block websites. Section 43A says data protection at corporate level. These are basic laws which we should know. And the another important thing is, nowadays both male and female are using this online platforms equally. So it is mandatory for all of us to make use of the internet in a safe environment. That too, while sharing your images, don't share with public. Like, don't put it in a public mode in social networks. Mostly because there can be sharing about FB. Yes, in other you can see the data almost equally they are using. So the first tip which I would like to say is, when you are selecting the website, select HTTPS instead of HTTP. HTTP is a secure website. And next is safe passwords. The safe password, how do you create a safe password is my question. Answer in the chat box. How should it be? I hope all of you have created passwords for all your email and other things. Strong password. Yes, you're right. Paraphrase. Yes. Text, symbols, number. Very good. Mixed alphabet. Yes, you're right. Okay, let me give you answer as it should be alphanumeric symbol. It should be a combination of alpha, that's alphabets, and number and special character. So in that alphabet also one capital letter is mandatory. So your password should be one capital letter followed by small letters and numeric letters. This will be a safe password for your site. Okay. So create a password in such a way it is safe. So let us learn about the licenses now. These are the licenses. CC BY. It says that this license let others distribute. They can also remix, adopt and build upon your work even commercially. But one thing is that they should give you credit for original creation. That's the main thing about CC BY license. And CC BY SA, the attribution is share alike. You know that share alike means you should not do any modification. You should share alike. This is license used by Wikipedia as well. So CC BY SA is the license. That means that you should copy the article and make it using you can't edit that and make use of that. You should use it as such. You should share alike. So next is CC BY ND, which means no derivatives. This license let others to reuse the work for any purpose including commercial. However, it cannot be shared with others in adopted form and credit must be provided to you. And attribution for non-commercial, that is CC BY NC. So you can make use of this for non-commercial uses but not for commercial uses. So there are another licenses like CC BY NC and SA, which means non-commercial and share alike combines. And here CC BY NC and ND, which means non-commercial and no derivatives from this. So these are some of the important licenses which we should know while we are using the contents. And for safe browsing, I have told you one website. I'll also give you a demo of that. That is ccsearch.creativecommons.org. And when we are using social network, what is the purpose of using social network according to you? Why do we use this social network? How do we come to know, connect people? Okay, there was another question which went previously. Let me connect with community. Good. Share ideas, information sharing to communicate with others. Yes, fine. Be in contact to connect people, sharing information. That's right. Share ideas. Yes. Yes, we gain knowledge. Yes, that's good. We also gain knowledge. Yes, communicating with each other. Yes, getting information. Fine. Okay, experience new technology. Yes, others. We get almost all the answers you have given. Let me tell you, and what are the risks while you are using social networks? So there can be illegal contents on FB. Unknowingly, you should not share that. There can be fake friends. Nowadays, the popular thing which is happening is creating a fake ID of your same image, same wall poster. It happened to me. And how many of you had that bitter experience? Nowadays, to become connected with family and friends, also social network helps. Yes, we are open and free to. I don't have. Okay, happen to Suganya ma'am. Okay. We are feeling free to wish our relatives online and in social networks, but to face, we feel hesitated. That is the real lifestyle of today happening. Yes. So fake friends are there. They might have fake identity, knowingly or unknowingly. And phishing is another hazard which we have. Social media decrease the distance in near and years. Yes, clickjacking is also another risk which we have. The Indian Cyber Crime Coordination C enter I4C, that is ICCCC, is a government initiative to deal with cyber crime in India. This we should know, that I4C is the department which deals with this cyber crime in India. To avoid this, for some extent, we can use ad blocker to our browser. Ad blocker for Chrome, you can add to Chrome, and this can prevent from phishing and other risks for certain extent. And when we are using YouTube, how many of you have used YouTube Kids? Say yes if you have used or searched it. Or yes, Tanima, yes, Gurvinder, yes, Pallavi, Jyoti, Satinder, Dalia, David, yes. Monica ma'am, yes. Most of you, Ricky, Tripati, yes. Fine, that's fine. Most of you have used it, but those who haven't explored it, kindly make use of this. And you can also share with your kids and your students, because it is safe place for your kids to search. So next, when you are using your social network such as WhatsApp, I'm going to give you some tips, like kindly avoid forwarded messages. That too, whatever comes to you, you don't put in all the groups. Before putting, you just select the authentication and check the authentication of that. How many of you have got one icon of hands like this, and someone say like UNESCO have approved this as icon for teachers? This message had been spreading since 5 years. How many of you have got the same message? Yes, okay. No, you haven't got that. Okay. Yes. How many of you have checked that whether that is authentic or not? If you have checked authenticity, if you are telling that that is authentic message, put yes, otherwise put no. No, yes, you're right. It is not an authentic message, but it is spreading like an authentic message, because we being teachers, we think that whatever comes in favor of teachers is right. That is the wrong attitude which we have. And most commonly nowadays, there are icons of some SBA even. State Bank of India is offering you free loan kind of thing. If you forward this to 5 groups, you will get immediately the loan or 10,000 rupees. Like that, there are number of company icons which are being used by hackers, and they are sending it. Even now we have warned many of the teachers in groups, like saying that this is fake. No one gives you free of cost anything. So we should have that attitude, and we should not forward those kind of messages to any groups. I hope you could have also received this in your WhatsApp groups. If you have received this kind of messages, put S in the chat box. Yes, 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 we do. And Cadbury's, even Cadbury's company gives free chocolate, and other messages. I have seen so many like that, and we should not forward that. And sometimes that will lead to a risk of your mobile Android version corruption, or your when you are using a computer, the virus comes to your computer and programs runs of its own, and there are even risks which are happening due to that. So kindly avoid and spread the awareness to your kids as well about these kind of messages. So don't click on ads and price messages is the next one which I was talking about. Don't respond with bank details. So if someone asks you about any bank information, don't give them over phone. This is my kind advice. If they ask you also, you tell them I'll come to bank directly. Even in COVID situation, you tell them I'm not willing to give you any information over phone, because no phone call would be made by the bank people. If they call also, they'll ask you to come to bank. Otherwise, there will not be any calls like that. And another thing is that we should also behave gentle in social networks is very, very important, because people think that we are not seeing your faces. Now also I'm not seeing any of your faces, but I should teach you as if I'm training you in person. That is what we call as social ethics. That is cyber ethics, and this is electronic ethics, which should be taught to our students nowadays. When we teach them this ethics, there will not be any misunderstanding or misinterpretation or cyber crimes happen in future. Avoid auto downloading of images and videos. This is the tip which I wanted to give. Go to your WhatsApp settings. If you have given auto download images, so kindly remove that. Whatever images or videos you want, you just click that personally. That download option will your phone open almost complete space of your mobile. 100 messages which are shared to the groups, you will be downloading one same image from 10 groups. So that occupies the space. So if you have given, go to settings and check whether you have given auto download images and videos. So if you have given that, kindly remove that so that you can easily download whatever you want. So I wanted to also share one beautiful website where you can collect resources, that is infosecawareness.in, where you have beautiful resources for children, students, women especially, family, police, teacher, and for government employees. This is government website where you have beautiful posters, stories to share with your students, and there are lots of resources which will really help you in teaching this cyber awareness to your students. So with this, let me finish my verbal session, and I'm going to my demo session now for some of the websites which I've shared. And if you really want to follow me through YouTube and other resources, if you want, you can search in Google as Dilip Teacher, and in YouTube also you can search for Dilip Teacher. There are more than 100 videos which are available for this ICT and English and general knowledge. You can search in YouTube, and if you wish to follow me, you can subscribe to the channel. Let us move on to the demo now. Okay, before that, if you are using a better website for downloading resources, you just put in the chat box so that everyone can know that. Let me open the browser. So clipart for pictures, outline. Okay, beautiful. I have got amazing share from Gurvinder Kaur to all panelists. Beautiful. I've got more than 16 resources which I'm copying. Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much. E-Pathashala is the CBSE one. Good. No, I'm not sharing if there is a set of resources which are from government side, you might be knowing like NAOER is one such platform, Diksha is another platform, Swayam is another platform. Diksha, you're right that we can have one day class for that. Education.com is one you are giving, fine. So let me share whatever I have shared as a resource now. Is my browser window visible for you? Tech Extra is one. Fine. Yes, thank you. I'm starting with this Google Scholar. When you are doing any researches related to your subject, like as I'm teaching English, let me put English phonetics. So Google searches you books which are related to that, and you can easily view this as a book from Google Scholar. So if I am a science teacher, let me check biology and medicine or psychology or technology. So how to integrate biology is a technology is the book one, and you can search lots of resources from this website. So this is how we'll be using this Google Scholar. And the next one is Wikipedia. I think you might have created an account. If not, create login with that. And you can also start writing articles into this Wikipedia. And there is a video which I have already given. Not only the Wikipedia, it has different sources for a different, like Wiki Commons is a media repository where you can get images. Wiki books are there, codes are there. You can also make use of all these resources when you are using Wikipedia. And dictionary is a dictionary which you can use free of cost. And this is very important website which I wanted to share with you. That's like plagiarism checker. How to put the text, and say for example, I'm going to search in Google one article. I use it too often. Very good. Poonam ma'am had used it, and this is where you can easily check whether it is. So in Google, let me check an essay on present. No, education system. No, we don't want to enter into that. Essay on artificial intelligence. So I'm going to copy the same and put. If I had written something, if I put, let me check whether it is written by others as well. So let me take this and copy the same and I'm going to check whether it is. So I put this and I'm scanning it whether it is scanned for plagiarism. So it's happening. So this okay, let's see. Yes, you found that significant plagiarism is found. Yes. So now let me put my own writing something which happened. So let me copy that and put it here, whatever I have written. To search through image. So desktop I am putting as 4 and I save this image. Now I am going to upload the image and search through this image. So go to camera icon, go for upload an image, choose file. So I put it in desktop. So now I'm searching for that image. So this is the image 4 which we downloaded and I'm uploading that image file. So now if you don't find the name of some scientist or a mathematician, or if you want to gather information about some historical places, you can put like this the image, take a pic. So you got the images, history like Rajagiri Fort, very good. This is directly linked with Wikipedia. This is how you can find when you upload an image. This is second type of search. And all of you know that there is a voice search. Let me also give you a demo of that. So click the voice. Hello Google, can you show me Taj Mahal? Hello Google, show me the image of Taj Mahal. So there was a confusion because I didn't take out my, I'm using both because image as well as that. So already we got that. Hello Google, show me the images of Taj Mahal. So now you got it right. Okay, it will also reply you in voice when you go for voice search. This is the beauty which happens when you go for voice search. So these are different types of searches which is available. I was talking about freepik.com where you can search images like natural park. Go and search for this. So I told you there are lots of images which are like 42,242 are available for the same one. So beautiful images are available for you in this. See, look at this quality of the images which you get from here, and you can directly download from here if you are using this. So there is nothing big to talk about this, so you can make use of this. And I was talking about the GIF images. So let's search for flowers. I'm a great fan of flowers. So look at the GIF flowers. So this is nice. So again, PNG images adds beauty to you, beauty to the PPTs and other things. So you can save images like this. So you can save, or else there is HD GIF and SD GIF. HD is a higher quality GIF, and you can directly share the URL like this, or you can embed this with your projects with this. So these are the ways how you can do that, and you can also upload your own GIF if you have. So next is the video which I was talking about is YouTube videos. So let me give me, okay, delete feature. I'm searching my own videos so that you can find my videos here. Okay, so if you want to filter with the license like we did in Google image, how do you do that? Have you all already searched through Creative Commons licenses when you are using it? Actually by the rule of YouTube, you should not download the videos of YouTube. But when you are making use of this for education purpose, up to a limit, it is permissible. So if you want to filter Creative Commons license, when you search for some, you will get like filters, click this. So here give Creative Commons. So I have given all this under Creative Commons license. So this is my contribution. Like that, if you wanted to search for others, this is a video where I have given about the voice typing in Google. So there are lots of videos like that. And I go and search for animal. So we'll go for mathematician Ramanujam. So I am searching that. So I go for filter again. So I give Creative Commons. Here I get a movie which is on a mathematician's life. The mathematics is legacy. This is a beautiful video. I wanted to download this. Let me show you how I am going to download this. So I am clicking on this video. I'm just going to put here like www.ss, which is save from net. I give enter. So that I was redirected to save from net, so that you can download this video easily without any outsourcing software. So how this is with MP4 720 quality, you can download. Otherwise, click on this. So if you want lower quality, you can do that. And if you want higher quality only video and you are going to give voiceover, so that you can download in 1080 without audio. So 720 without audio. All these are without audio, only video you will get downloaded. So I'm just going to give 360 for quick purpose. So it will immediately download like this, and when it opens, you can just click this and give download. So I give save. Now my video is downloaded. So now we have learned that. I was talking you about the US curriculum with LearnZillion, and if you want, if you are a first user, sign up and log in. So you're going to give email ID and your password to log in after sign up. If you are a first user, you're going to sign up first. So you're now logged in as a teacher, and you're so there is a problem with the credentials. So let me do that and log in. You can sign up and explore this because we are running short of time. Let me show you tick links. And here also you need to log in as if you are a new user. You can also sign in with your Google account. So this is how you're going to sign into ticklinks.com. There are subjects aligned, and you can also share it with your students so that they can easily access the content from this website. I have logged in successfully. It shows that. So now, first when you log into this, you're going to add your subjects which you teach, and I have already added 2. So you can add like which class you want to search for the content. So I'll just for an example give 9th. After that, you want to give subject math, science, English, grammar and writing. Say for example, I'll go for science. This is how you will explore, and give follow. So the new one which I have added here is 9th science. So I just click on this 9th science and let us explore this. How to make use of this, I'm now giving a demo. So in ninth science CBSE English medium, you have these lessons, I guess. So I want for second lesson, I'm just clicking on that. So look at this. For the second lesson, they have given period 1 35 minutes, period 2 up to 10 periods. And after that, there are other resources which are there. You can go show more, and you can elaborate the topic with lots of mapped content, experiments, and the concept you can be this. Likewise, you will find the resources for the lesson. This is how you are going to explore the lessons for each subjects and each class. And I was talking about infosecawareness.in at the end. This is a source where you will get resources. I go for teacher as we